Do you want to ask that again, Michael?
Gary said the queen in front of us felt something when we saw the vision. So I asked, did she feel a domain power? Or a power of a domain? I don't know how to describe that with their correct terminology.
So is that what you ask her?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
So she shakes her head and says, "No, I simply see the weight of the imbalance and don't have much of a way to fix it."
The imbalance of what?
Of the core fundamental things in the universe. I feel as if I must be happy and rejoice at the dominance of summer. And yet, I know logically that it is to the ruin of all.
I guess we learned this last session, but is winter out of fashion?
Well, I think
Winter's contained.
we haven't freed any winter queens, and we've freed 2 summer queens.
That's why the adversary is right. It's too much math.
So, you guys are in front of the queen. You come back too. Now, if there's the question of, oh, we got these 3 visions, what should we potentially do about any, all, none of them? What other things you want to do? And then at some point this is a launch pad for the next chunk of the campaign. Because I was like, hey, you guys tell me what you want to do, and then you guys argued about it for a while.
Well, I'm kind of confused because I don't feel like the queen is free, but we supposedly have freed her. Or is it just that the veil of the cause being lifted is her being free?
She is free to act now. She is herself.
So she can leave the sun?
Yeah.
But the Darksire won't leave this prison. Like, he's just the power source for the prison that the queen can just leave freely. I guess that's the
No,
confusing part.
she's his power source.
Yes.
So her leaving will free him.
I don't think so. I mean, the star is still there. Oh, like she probably exists in multiple places at once. It's probably like an Avatar situation.
I'm trusting that since she doesn't want to let him go, she won't let him go.
I think she said something about like being able to keep him contained because right now he would gravitate towards being the Lord of the Kill because Winter is so underrepresented. So he would like take on that aspect to try to balance things out to be better for him to be locked up for now until Winter and Summer are more closely equal in power.
Very interesting.
Unfortunately, I think that as Summer Knight, Drock can't do anything to benefit the Winter Court.
Mhm.
So we may have to kill him.
Well, he can. He just
Whoa!
He just loses. He loses concordance with his weapon, right? Is that the idea?
Well, I think if he acts against Summer, that makes Clotho vulnerable.
Why does this?
So is it? What is the concordance on your weapons, they Drock? Is it acts against Summer or acts in favor of the Winter Court? Because
Also, is Triptychos broken for other people?
Yeah.
Are all of the weapons broken for other people?
What does that mean?
Broken.
If you open up the
handout,
page, it
That is
looks
very broken.
terrible.
Why? I don't know why it keeps fucking breaking. It's so
Looks like
frustrating.
there's like a token on the
There's
left.
like tokens on it, yeah.
It's because it hates the bullet points for some just fucking bizarre reason, and sometimes it just randomly breaks. and it really aggravates me because I have to keep fixing it. And yeah, sorry.
It doesn't actually say anything about losing concordance for like helping Winter. If I kill a non-Winter Fey creature, I lose concordance, and if I deal damage to an ally while dominated, I lose concordance. I think I can quote unquote help Winter as long as it's not like, you know, because the balance is good, right? Even the Queen said that. Like, for her brother to be free, it has to be balanced. I don't think that would be a bad thing.
Owner resists the influence of or strikes a blow against the Winter Court +1.
Yeah.
So there's benefit to. There's not a detriment to helping the Winter Court. It's a benefit to fighting against the Winter Court, which is different.
But
Well,
also he's
yeah.
mortal. Like he doesn't have nature.
Because this came up at Silver Spire, where like if the Summer Court has to strike at the adversary. So if we had just left Silver Spire with the walkers there, Clotho would have been weakened and probably killed.
When you used Summer Power directly against it and brought Clotho's attention to there, she had to act within her nature and strike.
And we
But-
did have the opportunity to
What's that?
prevent her from doing that.
Does that mean Winter's nature is to help the adversary?
I think everything's opposed to the
Mhm.
adversary.
But if Winter is diametrically opposed to Summer, why would they oppose the adversary?
Well, they're not like 100% opposites in all things.
Yeah, there are some rules that still apply to both, right? Like neither side can tell a straight lie, right? Like that's a true for all of the Shi. That doesn't matter if you're Summer, Winter, or Wild.
I had a thought.
They are opposing forces, not opposites, as is the better way to say it.
Oh, okay.
I had a thought when we were discussing the first vision. Did we want to ask Mother about the vision we had of the three hags who are saying one of their names was taken and that the name was Lachesis?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that vision.
I don't know what we'd ask, but
Was that the one with the druid reading the mail?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like epic tier cool stuff, right? We watched a dude read his mail.
Well, maybe I mean, yeah, we could ask about it for sure, but I wonder if it's the same thing as like with the Formian queens. Like if hags are of the wilds, then they might also kind of use a structure where their leaders kind of match the.
But Gary mentioned something about the vampires using fake court structure, but you said there was
Did.
a reason for it. I missed the reason.
Because they're from the Fae.
Vampires are from the Fae?
Well,
It's
they're
a dark
descended
side
from the
item.
Night King. Yeah.
Understood. Got it.
And we did hit on a little something that Gary would not confirm or deny, but it was something like if you kill like a, high level vampire, like all of the ones in their line suffer in some way. Potentially. The theory.
All the ones they sired.
Yeah. So like if something happened to the Dark Sire, that could potentially wipe out all
Imagine
vampires.
if we quicksilvered his ass and just annihilated every vampire in existence.
That's why Gary had to go take a walk.
Yeah, that's why I had to go take a walk because I was like, "Oh fuck, what are the ramifications of this?"
We clean up the far east coast for Griffle. I bet they love that.
Yeah.
So does you guys mused about asking Mother something? Is there something you would want to ask the Queen?
Gosh, go.
I don't
Good
know what
question.
to ask.
You were gonna ask
who's
about
the
the
one who brought it up?
hags.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd ask about the hags.
Just tell her about the vision and ask her what's up.
Okay. I tell her about the vision and ask her what's up.
You know me more enough to know I'm okay with some summaries, but you gotta help me out a little more there.
Mother, we had a vision of 3 hags, and one of them appeared to be debilitated. Um, and the hags seemed to believe that the debilitated hag's name had been taken, and that might have been what caused it. And they were searching for the name Lachesis. Is it possible that your name was implanted in a hag?
She shakes her head and says, "No, there are some creatures, hags among them, that know that there is power in certain names. Anything that would have dabbled in power because they tried to be me would be reminded of their place in the universe when I became me."
Oh, so this vision
Oh,
is following her awakening.
slash now.
Yeah,
Or at least the hag getting fucked up.
is in the near future, or
Or
will happen just now.
Yeah. So she's saying right now that just
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Anything she would say it in sort of a flowery way, but she would say, yeah, anything that gained power from the secret knowledge of my old name by drawing it on themselves, that is gone. That
yeah.
time has ended. Only I am me.
But how long was the hag injured before the other two hags went to go see the druid?
I don't think we know.
Yeah.
I guess,
Okay.
Mother, where are those hags now?
Does she know that?
She knows everything.
I bet she will shortly.
Sorry, hang on. My the arm of my chair fell off, and I'm trying to fix that real quick.
Oh no.
So
He hit the arm of his chair so hard in frustration.
yeah,
This
that's
is
what
a
it was.
great question.
No, it's just like one of the arms is slightly loose, and occasionally it gets too far out of the like socket or whatever. Anyways, so she says, "I can look at the things that have gained power previously from pretending to be me or pretending to be some small aspect of me. If there's something specifically you think needs to be done, I would need to know why it should be done. All that have used my name for improper power have had the scales redressed to balance."
Is that a lot of people?
Only a few thousand.
Did the same thing happen when Clotho was born or became the Summer Queen? Or Summer
She
Lady?
shakes her head and says, "My daughter's name does not have that kind of power." In character, you guys know that Lachesis is like an order of magnitude stronger than Clotho is.
Mhm.
So, like, how do we leave? That's- we still have is Stint still following, or Stint, is that their name?
The Star
The
Shadows.
the Star Shadows ship?
I don't think they followed us here. We disabled their ship, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I
Mhm.
forgot
Or
about
like
Before that.
landing platform so that they couldn't
And you blew up their ship. So,
blew up their ship, disabled the platform,
yeah.
Yeah.
and left the planet.
Yeah. If they can follow you, they're going to be a minute. And so if you
Oh,
ask her, like, "Mother, can we leave?" she would say, "I am not keeping you here as anything other than guest." It's like, yeah, you can leave if you want to.
Let's go to Shadow Mantle.
That's what you want to do?
Yes, that's what I want to do
One
because
wants her orb.
Yes.
I want this
You're just
orb.
greedy.
Well, my weapon doesn't level up unless I go get orbs. So I have to convince you guys to go get orbs.
Do you guys think we could take Shadow
Orbs.
Mantle if we have to fight him?
No.
I feel like you just need to keep saying the word orbs like that, and they'll listen to whatever you want to do, so you stop saying it like that.
I watched Games Done Quick where they say orb every 10 seconds, so I can handle it. Don't worry.
Oh no. Well,
Can
okay,
upload.
here's a real justification though, because I think that this Vision Lady is a wraith, which is connected to Shadow Mantle,
Mhm.
and the Night King is in the Shadow Fell, which is connected to
So do
Shadow
you want to
Mantle.
go closer to the Night King?
Well, we might need to.
It's not on the Prime.
It's not on the Prime.
I thought we were supposed to specifically avoid the Shadowfell.
Are we?
Yeah,
That might have
that's where
been.
the Whis are.
So Shadow Mantle said, "Let his servant know that I understand what the orbs are, and he would give me another one." So Morin, I am letting you know. I understand the nature of this orb now.
Oh God. Okay.
Does
So,
that
I
vamp them
guys,
in, Gary?
I
is this,
commune. A wave of darkness enters the room with the Queen.
so like, is this whole conversation happening in front of the Queen?
So I feel like we should ask the Queen about Shadow Mantle.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay. So what is it that you want to know about Shadow Mantle?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I want to know if he's a bad guy or if he's a
He
reformed.
I can tell you that regardless of whether he is reformed, he is evil.
Okay.
But whether that's a bad thing is still in question.
Well, I guess that's what I meant. And also, what's his deal with the wraiths and the board and the stones? Like, what are his big goals as Lachesis sees it?
Did Shadow Mantle play a role in any of the 3 wars against the adversary? And what was his role?
So she looks at you, and you can tell that she's having a struggle, and that her eyes are flicking back and forth between like green and gold, like she's learning stuff. She's trying to understand, and then after a moment, she nods her head and says, "Ah, he is called Shadow Mantle now. Very well. Did he play a part in the wars? Yes. He was a willing tool. In order to survive, mortals will do all kinds of terrible things. He was not an important piece, easily replaced by them, and I think not much missed once he was gone."
Used by the Forerunners or the Voiceless Talkers?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Do you know what his goals are now?
So she does that thing where her eyes flicker green and gold again, and she goes, "At the end of things, a simple creature. To survive. He does not wish to be bound by nature, but has created bindings on himself far stronger than any nature I can think of. But he has made himself intrinsically of this reality. I think the only way he can be destroyed is if each of the mirrors are destroyed in turn."
Oh, he's Voldemort.
And they're his Horcruxes.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Wait, did he create the mirrors?
No,
She
that can't be.
shakes her head and says, "No, he did not create them. but he was able to alter the functionality of one of them. One of the nearest reflections of the mortal world has been turned into his phylactery.
Ooh,
Oh, that's crazy.
that's awesome.
That's lit, Gary.
That is.
We could just destroy the Shadowfell.
Can I tell Mother about the woman we saw in the two visions, taking notes, and ask her? Um, we have seen agents of Shadow Mantle performing similar tasks. Do you know what the designs of these agents are? What is their purpose?
So, could you say that part again? So, you did summary and then you spoke as yourself. Could you
Yeah.
do one or the other? Sorry, both
Sure.
is a little hard for me to process.
Sure. Sorry. Um, Mother, in our vision, we saw what we believe was a wraith of Shadow Mantle taking notes on the visions. We have seen a wraith of Shadow Mantles in the past reading fate in some way. Do you know what these agents' purpose is? Why Shadow Mantle is using them? What he is trying to accomplish?
So she looks at you, and for the first time during the conversation, you get this moment where you can tell she is trying to decide not what to tell you, but whether to tell you. And she says, I must tread carefully on the specifics of those questions, child. You are making an assumption, and clearing up that assumption could create an imbalance of power. I am unsure if I am enough in tune with reality to be able to answer it properly. I can give you a partial answer. You ask what servants of Shadowmantle do, they are going to do what he always has done. Do whatever he can to preserve himself, to preserve the Shadow's Spell, to make sure that his mirror continues to exist, and so he continues to exist. But the other that you mention is more complex to speak of.
The other is the woman taking notes on the vision.
The other is not one of his servants.
Mm. Can you tell us who she is a servant of?
So she thinks and says, I do not think that is the correct question. I think instead you have intrinsically come across a similarity with something that you do understand, at least in part. And so you apply that in the wrong direction. This thing is not a servant of Shadowmantle. It is not like something of Shadowmantle's. Shadowmantle's things are like her.
Who is she?
And you can see that, like, when the queen does that, when she kind of turns her face and her face twitches, that you've seen Clotho do something like that before. When Clotho was getting close to something that was difficult to do in her nature.
Is it like your well, is it grandmother?
It is looking at the universe in a different way than what I am designed to do. I think I have told you as much as I can. simply think upon one as a model for the other, just not in the way you thought. She says that, and you can see that same sort of like flicker of something like pain. And then she looks at one of Minnie, her eyes flick to the orb, and then she looks
Mhm.
back at you.
Yeah. See, guys, we need to go get orbs. Watu needs us.
Excuse me?
Oh, Watu?
Gazoon tight?
Watu the Watcher.
Is that their name?
No, not in this campaign.
So the wraiths are modeled after the observer in our vision. Like the
Yeah.
observer in our vision is an entity, and Shadow Mantle's wraiths are meant to emulate that.
Yeah. And so maybe that woman is an agent of the Watcher, or it's a Morthak,
Or is it the Watcher?
or it might be the Watcher. Yeah.
What is the entity that Mother invoked and drew the eyes of? Last session? Or is that something we had not done yet?
What is it?
There was a walker that
Oh,
she removed from your head, or was going to remove from your head.
she was going to, and I don't think we had her do it, right?
Correct.
We did not.
Do you
Oh, that
remember
was the
what the
last.
discussion was?
Uh,
It's gonna draw the eyes to her.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So we
then,
need to
then
piece
she
out.
explained what that meant, right?
Right.
So
So she was,
the becomer would tell Hope Slayer to go kill her.
Yeah.
and then we had that whole conversation about Hope Slayer has killed like multiple queens that are, and like a shitload of queens to come,
Yes.
and a grandmother, or a grandmother died to
A
something.
grandmother died to the ending of the first war was a grandmother sacrificing herself to prevent reality from being destroyed.
That was the first summer grandmother,
Correct.
Yes.
and no winter grandmothers have died. It kind of seems like winter is stronger than summer. Don't tell her I said that.
Maybe historically so.
Okay. Well, I'm fine with us moving on, but I don't think anybody wants to go anywhere except for me.
I'm happy to go to the Shadowfell.
I'm content with it. I just have concerned about the on vision, but I guess we don't know when that's going to happen. But I think it's something we should look into sooner rather than later.
Concerns as in we should go talk with her or send her ascending or something else.
We should. I again sort of focused on the like completing the. I don't know the stupid idea of just like I guess maybe talking to her is the best first action, but like uh going sicko mode and finding the character that I can't ever remember the name of, the elf guy, Eladrin
Delseth?
guy,
Dalseth.
Elsath, and
Oh
getting his
yeah.
soul back.
So we could ask Mother where Delseth's soul fragments are, and I am very specifically, I guess, talking telepathically only to the party because I don't know how she's going to react to his name.
I think we talked to her about him.
She did, and she was not happy.
She was not happy, but she really didn't like talking about Al Shaib.
It made her really sad.
Al
Was
Shaib,
Al Shaib make her sad?
Yeah.
was he the one who was a ritual in the vision? Then he got sold to the Ifrit.
No, because he was she given to the primordials, and then the gods turned him into the Maharaj.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Um, Where is it? Where is? Oh yeah, here we go. Daltheth became immortal, changed its fundamental presence.
Yeah, he was mortal, but he wanted to be with Clotho, right? So he became immortal
Hmm.
by making a bad deal.
Okay, final decision. We suck it up. Ask her where Daltheth's souls are. Leave. Go say hi to Shadow Mental. Try to not die.
Okay. And do we get the thing out of my head or not get the thing out of my head?
That
think
is
not.
that sounds like a bad idea.
I really don't want her to die. We've only just gotten her.
That would suck.
But if she dies, Clotho becomes her, and she's our friend.
That's
I don't.
true.
Sorry, that I don't actually believe that, but
I cannot imagine Sally Main as the queen that is. That
But you
just
could.
hurts.
Do you want Sally to have the power that you see the queen wields?
No.
yes, I do.
Why not? That'd be so cool.
Agent
Sally
of
Main
Chaos.
is incredibly unreliable and literally got Hope captured.
You're gonna put that on her. That's cringe.
But now
I am
she's
gonna put that on her.
she would take up the mantle though. That would like even her out, you know? Okay, let's ask about
You're
Dawson.
literally a slave to a demonic evil man, so
I'm not a slave.
I'm putting that on you.
He's
Yeah,
this
we'll see what he
revenant.
says when we walk in the room and he's like, "Sit, puppy."
Oh no.
When he's like, "Kill filibuster."
Well, then I would be
Like-
acting of my own free will.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Mother. Where are we are seeking Dalseth's soul fragments.
In order to create a true name knife.
So she squints at that and says, I do not know why you would need to use such a thing against someone where it would have almost no effect. But if this is a task that you set upon yourself as mortals, I will do what I can to help you. I do not know where most of this creature's soul fragments are, but I can attempt to look in a way that is less direct. If I look and use my power as I have to learn other things, I risk getting too close to things that will know I am looking.
So she's just gonna like use her peripheral vision.
Would it help if we gave you some details of a vision that we had of him?
So she would say yes to both things. Yes, she's basically using her peripheral vision. She's going to look near without looking directly at things. And then if you're like, hey, we have information, she's like, yeah, I can use that.
All right, so I summarize the vision and say, "What's up?"
I'm so sorry.
So she listens, she focuses, and says, I believe that is the primary anchor of his soul. What
Oh,
remains of the original winter night. I think if you were looking for something that is his essence, that is as close as you can come to, if not the whole thing, the most important part, the core upon which his personality is built, and were it free, the other pieces would need be drawn to it in order for it to maintain itself as the winter night.
But it seems in the vision the star shadows may have done something to that essence.
She says they have made him pay for his folly in a way that only an immortal can. They have broken him beyond the will to live, but he has no capacity to die.
oh, we have the ability to kill him. I say
You're just gonna
telepathically.
exploit this poor goblin girl.
No. We have Quicksilver that can kill him on our ship.
Oh, we could just throw the lab at the ship that he's in.
But we have to find that ship.
We
Is
do.
he still in that ship and they're just torturing him there?
She says, from your description, it sounds as if this was a difficult to reach place. It would be possible for it to be moved, but unlikely.
Can she mark it on our map?
She doesn't really know where it is other than your description, but like,
A settlement needs your help.
Oh,
Mark it on your map.
I thought that's what I was asking. Would you be able to divine this location, or something along those lines, without the Star Shadows freaking out?
without drawing the attention of the void, no. I don't believe I could. In order to perceive exactly where this is located, I would need to fill that area of darkness with my light. It would be easy to sense. I do not have the strength to sense it in a different way quickly. There is another way I can sense it, through threads, but I would need time. It's like her immediate way of doing it would be too obvious. She can do it in a more roundabout way, but it's going to take her some time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We destroyed the only ship that we know had been to that station, by the way.
Yes, you did.
Which one was that? Oh, Sense.
Alienish ship.
Yeah.
There would have been a log on that ship.
In retrospect, that could have been a bad idea.
We don't make any of those.
It was a
Oh.
choice you all made.
Gary, you're supposed to stop us from doing extra stupid things.
I mean,
He did go for a walk, so I mean,
The session I ran earlier today, in the middle of the session, at one point, the player said what he was going to do, and I said, so what you're going to do is this, and then I repeated back to him exactly what he said to me, and the fact that I repeated back to him what he said, he went, absolute no, I'm not doing that. Like, correct answer. And like, he's the only person at the table who's been playing RPGs for 15, 16, whatever, 15, 20 years. And then he reacted immediately, and like everyone else at the table who's been playing tabletop for a year or less was like, wait, what? Like, you said something to him, he said it back, and then you changed your mind? Why? And it was beautiful.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure out how to get that information very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The only way I would think to do it otherwise is to contact the Imperium. So
We could contact an oracle.
We get divine consult oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the limitation is one thing needs to know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mother, do you know any oracles who might know the location of that ship?
The DM is thinking about that right now.
Can we consult oracle to see which oracle we should consult for the location of this ship?
So basically what I'm trying to think of how to say what she would say, but she would say something along the lines of, I do not believe an asset as valuable as the Winter Knight would be exposed to a vulnerability as simple as a consultation of oracles.
but we would know from the vision. Like, there would be an oracle that would know the answer to this alienist team ran this mission in this region.
So
Yeah, I mean, there might even be oracles who like
We don't have to ask where Dalsath is.
they might have known where like the ship's log went. You know,
oh yeah, we get
even
an
like what
oracle. It's like, what ship did this one that we blew up? Where did it go?
yeah, like
That's what I
what
was just
quadrant of
saying.
space even.
Yeah.
I will say also, I'm reading Consult Oracle, and it says uh, the answer must be known to at least one creature,
Hmm.
and presumably a Star Shadow is a creature, right?
Yes, but you also are aware that they have, I mean, some anti-divination stuff on them.
Hmm.
But I'm saying like, you know, if you're an alienist, the Imperium is like all like ridiculous about like law and order and stuff. And so
Mhm.
they probably have logs of like Stent's
Oh,
ship was
right.
headed to this quadrant of space, you know?
That's
So
true.
if we just get some random person whose job was to like clear flight paths.
Do we know where they came from to go to this location? Like what port?
You know which fleet Stent is a part of, so you'd be able to get it narrowed down pretty strongly because of that. The flight path thing would be a little bit harder because part of the vision is that like they are in the middle of just fuck off nowhere. Like it is in a pocket of the black with no reason to ever go there, and that is one of the weirdness. One of the reasons they were sent there was because this is places showing signs of there being something interesting here, but there should be nothing interesting there ever. Now, would you be able to use like, oh, does the Stent and the others count as a creature? I would say that one of many, your knowledge of divination and the explanation from the Queen, you'd be able to put those two pieces together to know that Divine Oracle won't consider the aberrant creatures, like won't consider the Star Shadows a creature for the purposes of Divine Oracle.
But
And that,
Stent is was a creature.
That's
correct,
was.
But
Was
he's
is the key
dead.
word there.
was.
Yeah, but the answer must be known to at least one creature, even if that creature is no longer alive.
Oh, you think he's just dead?
Oh, poor guy.
Was Stent ever alive?
He was.
Is he
But
still alive? Or is he no longer alive?
what a Star Shadow does to you is not as simple as killing or dying.
I'm sure we'll find that out soon.
But yeah, so I'd say that, one of many has used divination around Stent and around the Star Shadows before. She is aware that they have some resistance to or ability to fly under the radar of the oracles. And that's basically what Mother is saying as well. It's like, wherever this place is, divining it directly, that's just not going to work. But getting to it indirectly is basically what she's doing. She's saying, yeah, like that's the same problem I have is if I found it directly, it would be too obvious and, I'd have to really work at it. Whereas finding it indirectly, that is something I can do. And that's something probably you can do as well.
Okay.
Do we know the name of Stent's ship?
We do.
We do.
Then why don't we just ask an oracle where that ship went?
We can do that. But we should go talk to Shadow Mantle first. Just
Yeah,
so we can have some movement in this session.
let's put a pin in that one because I think
Also, what are we going to tell On of the vision?
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know
do
if
we
we
wanna-
should. I don't know if we should
Okay.
yet. I'll put the pin in that too. She might be part of our trap.
yeah.
We might
We
have
might-
to straight up sacrifice for now.
Okay.
So, is there anything else you guys want to talk to Mother about? Any other things that you want to do?
Michael, you had made a comment about Not seen one sister. The queen mentioned that, and you would have asked more about it. Do you still want to?
Nope. Kylie seemed unconcerned, so
Yeah,
that's her business.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only one that caught my
Moisturized
interest.
and unbothered. Okay. We leave. Do we have to just like fly away, or can we get a magic?
Do we
teleport?
have to just? Are we peasants? Must we go on our spaceship and fly out of the sun ourselves?
Mother,
Well, we
do we
can
have a portal
teleport
to the
now.
Shadowfell?
Yeah, is the cause
We
totally
have portal to the
dispersed?
Shadowfell at home.
Cause is gone, so you could just teleport out of the cause on your ship. Like,
Wait, real quick, Gary. Does that mean if we leave this sun, we're gonna like come face to face with a fucking Leviathan?
that's a good
Maybe.
question.
That's why we should teleport directly to the
That's a good question.
Shadowfell.
Roll up D5.
See what category.
um. Yeah, could we get a portal to the Shadowfell from Mother?
Or coordinates for Shadow
That seems like a
Mantle.
that seems a really bad idea.
I mean, could she do it? Yes. Is she going to do it when you could do it for yourself? Probably not.
Also, our pirate friend, buddy, dude is out there.
Also, you don't want to actually portal there without your ship. So,
Yeah.
And
So,
are we gonna
you-
tell what's his face? Like, and what are we doing about the lab?
if you're ready to go, you talk about being ready to go, she will wave her hand and one of the walls of her throne room will disappear and you'll see kind of a hollowed out thing going all the way, boring through the outside of the star, getting to where you can see in the near view is your ship, sitting in the heart of the star, glowing with power, still eating in tons and tons of fire. And then behind it, you can see, at the end of the tunnel, past it a little ways, sitting at a safe distance away from the star that you just flew into, is a Charsamat, is the other ship. So if you guys want to leave, you can. She's opens the door, says, "Here you go."
How can we talk to you in the future?
So she gives you a strange look and says, "Though it is against tradition, there are 3, and they are still my voice in the world." She kind of like turns away from you, and then she like turns to look at one of the windows. You hear her voice come out of Drock's mouth saying, "And they are my voice and weapon."
Well, I, that makes sense.
You want to talk to the Queen of Summer? Well, you're traveling with the Summer Knight. Easy done.
What? Why does she say it's against tradition though? Went over my head. I think.
It's against tradition to have 3.
Because there's 3. Sorry. Okay. Well, it actually seems kind of appropriate, realistically.
Now, but I can't communicate directly with her.
When she does that, you feel a strong connection with the Summer Queen. You don't feel as if this is can only use it once with Clotho.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So, is there anything else you want to do with the Queen before you guys head out?
Now, has any of this changed or increased my concordance with the weapon, Gary?
Yes.
It's gone way down.
No kidding.
So yes, your weapon would increase to +4.
Oh, nice.
Ow.
+4.
And you get the impression that once you can sort of complete some sort of thing with her now that she is free, that will give you the capacity, at least, to unlock the pleased tier. So you'd be able to unlock the +5.
Sorry, one sec. I thought it was because my concordance is at 13.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 is trying to find it again.
13 is satisfied, so it's at +4. You can't go past 15. And so you would get the ability, you are going to get concordance for doing this. So you would get +2, so you fulfill the prophecy that benefits a Summer Queen. And then you have the capacity to get past +4. So you have the capacity to leave the satisfied tier. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, okay. So this would brought it to 15, and then now I have to do something else.
Yeah. One more thing. So normally it's like when you get to the end of a tier for the weapon, you have to do something for one of the queens. And this one, basically, the answer is it's unlocked. So as soon as you gain concordance, it'll go to a +5.
Oh, nice. I got to kill something in a battle, guys, which never happens.
Anything or something specific?
Oh, what's the word? Aberrant, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Which is like 90% what we fight, right? So.
Mom, I want a portal. So, yeah, is there anything else? She opens the door, says, "Here you go."
Thank you for your time.
So you see her, let you kind of head out, flies her, or if she's not flying her palace, she's at least moving the palace close to where your ship is, allowing you to get off. And the last you see is her look on your ship with sort of soulful eyes, looking sorrowful as she sees your ship, and then she looks past at the ship that is in space beyond, and then she gives a wry smile, turns away, and the star is a star once more. So you guys are back on your ship with a crew that looks very confused for a moment. Because all of you guys just vanished. And they are now realizing that they didn't think it was weird for the past several hours that you weren't there. And now that you're back, everyone's realizing it was weird that you weren't here. And also it's weird that they didn't think it was weird you weren't here.
But I mean, doesn't this happen a lot with Al and us and just disappearing?
The disappearing, yes. The thing where, everyone collectively forgot about you guys while you were gone, that doesn't happen.
Mm.
So, where to from here?
We have to meet up with Crom, right?
Okay.
Or just do ascending. Let him
Fly
know
out
what's
of
up.
the sun.
Yes.
He's not going to be able to follow you in here. So you can fly out to the Charsamat.
Tell Al that I hope he feels refreshed by drinking in so much star power.
He doesn't respond verbally, but you get something sort of akin to like giddy laughter.
He's such a freak. Before we fly away, I would like to ask Al Shaib. Maybe this is too serious for the moment, but oh well. Do you wish to return to your former position?
So you again kind of get back that sort of weird glee as the only real response. You think that he's, if there's a way to be stoned on power, that's what he is right now.
He's not like spitting out more shackles.
No, he's like, I've been, bathing in power, and he has been doing the most epic tier level of hotboxing using the star.
And it's like star power of his like,
Yeah, it's she power as well.
he's like, hell yeah.
So it's going to take him a little while to be no longer, literally and figuratively drunk with the power that he just consumed.
Do we have any assumption on how long it'll take for what's his name to kill Jan Sieben? Is it Jan Sieben?
What's his name
No.
to kill Yancy Ben? You gotta.
Samir?
No, Maysan Al Harik Ben Samir Al Sadir.
Oh, to kill
For him to
the.
die at the hands
him
of
to die.
I'm
the.
sorry for not being able to remember the characters with 10 names, Gary.
I'm honestly surprised that I was able to just spit it out like that. I just started saying it and that all just came out. I was like, oh yeah, that's the name.
It's not that you don't remember the name. It's that the only part of the name you remember is the only part that is like completely separate entity, right? That is the god. Like if you remembered like Mesan, and that's the only part you remember, well, that's easy. Or you remember Harik, that's also easy. But remembering just the god of air and like, oh yeah, or the primordial air.
I'm sorry.
No,
I would appreciate if you didn't call him a god of air.
that's true. I said for the primordial there.
In
So
front of me and my
remembering
spear.
just the primordial of air's name was was like one of those. Oh yeah, we don't remember the right name.
Gary,
so
I'm role playing.
Anyways, that was why I was confused. So you fly out, and your crew is sort of adjusting to the fact that some weird stuff has happened. You see the Charsamat is there, and the captain is sort of standing on deck, kind of watching whatever is happening. You can see most of his crew looks completely shocked that you flew into the star and then flew back out of it several hours later. He's just got a big grin ear to ear on.
Well, where to? Wait, why did he follow us, by the way? Oh, he thought he was going to get rich off this.
No.
He
Well,
wants to destroy the lab.
And he
Yeah,
wants to
he
wants
destroy
the
the
lab
lab.
destroyed.
That's the primary.
And he was down with us freeing Mother too.
mhm.
Well, we're leaving.
Yeah. I guess we need to tell him. Hey, Crom. We have freed the Summer Queen, as we intended. And I know that you're interested in working on the winter side of things. Did we tell him last time that the winter lady was on Matsevu?
I don't know that we did.
I don't know that we did, but I would tell him that now. I'd say there are 121 star shadows surrounding the winter lady on Matsevu. And that's where she is. If you're looking to help.
That's toxic.
Little outside of my pay grade, but it seems as if many things are.
Yeah, same.
I think instead, now that the air has been cleared, I think I'm going to go looking around for something interesting.
I hope that you can understand our intentions a little bit more clearly now. We might actually need to use some of the Quicksilver to kill an immortal that has been corrupted by the adversary.
So he frowns at that and then goes, so you're not going to destroy parts of your ship. I guess it was too good to hope.
Oh, wasn't that our intention?
Hmm.
I think we did intend to destroy the lab. We're not we don't want to keep the research going. We're not interested in developing these weapons further.
We could just keep some Quicksilver. We don't have to not do the lab.
Yeah.
Let's
I
keep
think-
a few tactical nukes.
Mhm. Just one.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically, you tell him, "Hey, we're not going to destroy the lab yet. We've got some other stuff to use for it." And he's like, "Okay, so you're not going to destroy it."
Right.
He seems to think like, "Oh, if it's not getting destroyed,
It's not getting destroyed ever.
yeah, like if you're not going to destroy it now because you need it for later." I may have heard that one before.
He doesn't trust us after all of this.
Not,
Would you?
It's not doesn't trust. It's more along the lines of, oh, you don't want to take this tool out of your toolbox, right? It's the original reason that he was trying to trick you was that he didn't think you would actually go through with it because you wouldn't want to get rid of something that you would have a use for. And so when you tell him, yeah, we were going to destroy it, but we have this use for it, he's like, yeah, that figures.
Yeah.
No.
I don't.
He-
I'm still.
He
s-
seems less disappointed in you guys. Like he's not upset by it, and more like, I am vindicated in my initial instinct to trick them.
Yeah. Well,
We should tell him
just-
about.
It really bugs us to disappoint someone who's been lying to and trying to trick us for so long.
Well, I still think just destroying the lab in general would be a good idea. I mean, I'm fine keeping some of the Quicksilver, but I thought. Well, actually, hold on.
Night
Do we
and
even?
Summer happy with keeping Quicksilver.
Well, do we even have a way to destroy it now that the cause is gone? Because that was our plan: launch into the cause, right?
Mhm.
True.
Yeah.
So, what is new plan?
Hey, Drac Mother, can you destroy this lab?
Fuck, mother.
Isn't that how we talk to her now?
I pick up my Drock phone. I dial
Bye,
mother.
Mom. See you later.
Yeah.
2 minutes
It's like,
later. Hey,
have you ever
Mom.
played
I
Psychonauts?
got a favor to ask.
Do you ever play Psychonauts?
Yes.
You would take a piece of bacon out and like wave it next to your ear, and the guy in your head would come out to speak to you. So I'm like,
See, what this makes me think of is saying like bye mom, and then like you go get in the car and you like call her from the car for something. Like you haven't even left the
I left my
driveway.
backpack inside. Could you bring it out?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
haven't even left the driveway. You're still there. You're just outside. But if you want to ask her whether she would destroy it,
I'm sure she would.
the answer
Right?
is yes. Yeah.
Mm.
well, if we don't
Do we
think we
wanna-
can destroy it, then that's probably a good thing, right?
Do we want to keep a little bit for Dalseth?
Just a little bit.
Just a
One
little bit.
barrel. One little barrel.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Marin says yes.
So you guys can go and say,
At a
"Hey,
minimum, a Drock-sized barrel of Quicksilver.
on second thought, we will go ahead and do it, and then hey, give us just a moment, sort of thing to Crom, who still
away.
is looking at it like he doesn't expect you guys to actually go through with it, but it would take you, enough time to send some of the constructs down to take stuff out of the lab. It would take you half an hour to get a pretty significant quantity of Quicksilver out of the lab. And then if you did want to jettison it into the area near the star, Mother will send out effectively a solar flare to destroy the lab.
Okay. I'm for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you spend the time that you need to jettison the lab. You guys, had talked about previously doing what you needed to do to set this up on the downtime between the
Mhm.
sections. So, this would have done previously where you got all the stuff that you needed done to be able to shunt it off into space. And you shunt the Fey Lab into space. And you can see that Crom, he doesn't believe it's fully happening until the solar flare hits it and the lab is destroyed. And you see him look like genuinely surprised. Like he thought it was going to be at the last minute something was going to change, but it doesn't. The lab is destroyed.
And he hands one of many a small orb and says, "Thank you for your help."
Transfigures into
only.
Shadow Mantle.
I've been here the whole time.
So, with this expression of Mother's power, Drock, you get that weird sensation, like you're like when you use your powers to allow Clotho to look through your eyes. You get this weird sort of shimmer. This, you're right next to Mother using a huge block of her power, and you see that her attention is on you. And you see when you look at Crom that his like body and everything shifts and changes. Like there is this sort of amorphous blob where Crom is standing.
Because yeah,
Like a
he's
star shadow?
Wait, or does Drock get like what do you call, like the knights have underlings? What are those
A
called?
squire?
Yeah, does he get squires?
Vassal.
Yeah.
He could. What I'm saying to you, Drock, is that if and when, at any point in the future, right? This is a representation of it, not you have to use it right this moment. If you use your summer power in the future, it will no longer be Clotho looking through your eyes. You can instead choose for it to be Mother, and you'll be using her stats to look at things.
oh
Mm.
wow.
And her
Is that-
stats. Did
Or
it
not.
show the Deva?
Do you want to focus on what Mother's looking at?
Yes.
So you focus in, and it snaps into place. You can see layers and layers and layers, hundreds of identities around where Crom is standing. He's been hundreds or thousands of individuals. And you see that one of the layers that's near the top, that's Saul Falgarin. Down and down it goes, like what you've seen from some other creatures that can be different things, be different people, be different aspects of different things. And then you see in the middle is something very unusual, something you've never seen before and don't know quite how to quantify. It looks like a normal mortal race to a certain extent, but you've seen Henjay before. You've seen them be different animal creatures, crows and bears and badgers and things like that, an invocation of different animals. You've never seen one that is a tiger. And you see now before you what looks like a Henji yokai as a tiger. And as he's watching and looking before, you can see the way that he stands in his true form, looking in surprise at the destruction of the lab, that there's something slightly off about him. His hands, as they're clasped behind him, his hands are backwards.
We saw a vision of this. I know what this creature is just from D&D knowledge, but that's meta. But we had a vision of a character.
We did. I remember there being something important about there being a tiger Henjiokai.
Wasn't this the one that it was like the most important parts of Rajul's life, right? They like captured a
Oh shit!
tiger
Yeah,
Henjikai?
yeah, yeah. That is what it is.
Were his paws backwards?
Yes. That is
And
I don't know what the paws backwards means.
Drock, you can recognize
I won't
that,
tell you because I think it's interesting to find
that
out.
she knows what he is, what he really is. That's his true form.
Sorry, I didn't see anything pop up.
I put it onto the tabletop. Hopefully.
Nope. Oh my god, it's the Superstition's End.
Wow.
sorry. Hang on.
It's a ship.
He's the ship. Our ship has its own little walker.
There he is.
So he was a Henjiokai that got touched by the divine and became a deva?
Nope.
He just is a Henji Yokai.
He is not a Henji Yokai. And there's a thing where, oops, that's the wrong layer again. So from your perspective, you see him as a Henji. From
Okay.
Mother's perspective, she doesn't see him as a Henji. She sees that there is this halo of divine power around him. Because he's not a Henji, he's a Rakshasa.
Now you're just making up words.
Yeah.
It's a D&D
I know
monster.
that.
It's a demon,
It's-
isn't it?
It's from
Rish-
Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I think it was.
There is also a thing where you've heard Rakshasas be mentioned before. And there
Yeah.
is something about them. Do you guys remember the one time you've heard Rakshasas in the campaign?
No.
No, and I don't even know how to spell it to search for it.
It's R-A-K Shasa. S-H-A-S-A. Rest of the L.
So the answer is they are what happens when a deva falls.
Oh,
Oh.
poor
Why are you
Chrome.
saying, oh, that sounds like bad.
Well, something bad must have happened to him to make him fall.
I thought
And now
doesn't fall mean bad for us,
Yeah.
not for him necessarily.
Fall
Well, he
means fall, in the phrase of like fallen angel style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he seems like he's trying to redeem. You know, this probably
Okay.
happened like 10,000 years ago. If something happened 10,000 years ago, it's fine and it doesn't really affect now and it's not a problem. People change.
Hurt
Especially
people
when they
hurt
touch these
people.
orbs. Orbs.
Whoops. Jack, you should tell him.
I see you.
I see you.
Do we want to tell him that?
It's your character.
It's like one of the nicest ways to tell someone you love them. Haven't you watched Avatar?
Yeah, but
and he's a cat man. He'll like it.
Just like an Avatar.
I see you, Bratim Crom. And you can twist up your tail with his.
so hold on though, because you guys were saying that we've seen this as part of a vision, and that was for what again?
So we saw a vision of Rajul's most important moments of his life, which I'm sorry. I love that keeps happening and it keeps being
Ra's al Ghul?
Ra's al Ghul?
mostly useless. And it was of them, Church of the Elements people hunting down a Henjiokai. And he like shapeshifts into one of the Church of the Elements folks. Ah man, I do not remember when we got this.
It's not
It
in the
was
shared
the
vision
last.
document.
It wasn't a
It was
vision.
not
It
a
was the
vision.
last. It was the last sight vision that I did on
Yes.
what's his
So
face
there's
when he
no
was
On
write
Rajul.
down of it.
When we
on
knocked
Ra's
him
al Ghul.
out.
Yeah. We saw the 3 most important moments of his life or whatever.
Mhm.
So I think hunting down a Henjiokai was like important for the Church of the Elements.
For Rajul.
Yeah, 'cause like it was part of him like ascending to power in the Church of the Elements because he took out like a important type of creature.
Yeah. Oh man, when is this? 57, 58.
What's this?
Supernal outside the vault.
Oh yeah, here we go. There's a battle in an underground palace. A single Genasi is surrounded by a large group of Genasi that includes Rajul. The Genasi does something and swaps place with one of the other guys, like shapeshifts, and the guy in the middle gets killed. The Lightning Soul Genasi runs away but is caught by Rajul. Rajul pulls the magic out of the Lightning Soul and it turns into a part man, part tiger creature that has eyes like a deva. And then Rajul drank the magic out of the tiger person until they died. It's a year and a half ago, by the way.
I would also say that you would see as one of the images that Mother shows you of the many layers on top of the Rakshasa is Sabkuch Jiwa.
We knew that, I think.
That was pre-Crom.
That was
right?
right before Crom.
No, pre-Sulfur-Garen.
Or yeah.
Yeah, Crom is just a different person.
Crom is a disguise. It's not
Yeah.
actually Crom.
Right.
Okay.
Also, yeah, I don't know if we want to say we see you like to him in front of the crew that he's still hiding from.
We could.
We have
tell-
telepathy.
Why don't we tell him that Ra's al Ghul, is no longer a problem.
Is this that tiger?
No, I think the tiger that in that memory was killed.
Are you sure?
Well, but it had Deva
Isn't that
eyes.
how Devas work?
Or one of-
the
But it
one
wasn't a Deva, it was a Henjiokai.
the one that you can see here looks just like the one in the vision. It looks like a tiger henjie with eyes that glow like a deva.
And backwards hands. Did that one have backwards hands?
Yes.
Yes.
What does that even mean? Its hands go up instead of down?
So imagine you're put your hands out in front of you,
Okay.
and rather than your palms being away from you, your palms are facing you.
Yeah.
My palm
just
is
like-
down.
It's just like you reverse where your wrist connects.
Ugh. Okay. Why is
What?
it like that?
It's like a Hindu thing. I
Okay.
don't know.
Like if I put my arm straight out and my palm is facing the floor, if I were one of these guys, my palm would be facing the ceiling.
Yes.
Okay.
Realistically, it doesn't change that much about your hand. It's
Yeah, I
just,
guess that's true.
it's like a thing.
It's just the other way.
There's actually, so I'm going to put an image in the prosperity voice chat thingy. That's one of the better, this is why it looks off representations for Rakshasa. It's not like the best artwork in the world, but if you can see what his left hand looks like.
How do we access this? Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good explanation.
So it's like your hands have just been put on the other arm.
Yeah.
Wait, where did you put it?
He put it in the
Put
chat.
it in the
for the
super
voice
hidden
channel.
secret voice channel text chat.
I don't know why you guys say it's hidden, but sure.
Because nobody uses this except for you. I'll just put it
literally
there.
No one uses that.
What the hell are these amulet
Nobody
cheat
uses this
sheets?
except for me, but
We're
There
in other discords, Gary. We have other friends.
Gary, the last message sent in this is February, and the last message before that is December 23.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it gets used often because normally I put it in the tabletop stuff, but
I don't even know why I put biscuits in this channel.
What is
don't know either.
amulet cheat sheets.ods? What even is that? Spreadsheet? Oh, this is the how to have it.
this is how to
yeah.
make a cheat sheet. Yeah.
I remember
Anyway, but that's a depiction of if you're well, why? I don't understand what the hands backward thing means. That's what it means.
So we
Okay.
use this thread every winter.
Mm-hmm.
December 22, January 23.
Drock, don't ever post in this channel.
Anyways, so yes, Mother can see this guy. He was a Deva at some point, so he's a Rakshasa. He looks like a Deva, or at least his eyes do. You can see that he has the image, his shapeshift of Crom over him. He has the image of Sulfur-Garen, but he also has the image of Jua, as well as many, many, many others.
And so what do we know about a Rakshasa? They're a fallen
They're a fallen Deva, yeah.
Deva. So a Deva.
The reason I shared the Supernal outside of the vault handout is that that's what they were concerned about.
Oh, if I
Tomasa
fall, I
is the chief.
fall. But why do they turn into tigers?
That's just how this universe works thing. That's just
Okay.
I don't even go as far as I think that's just how 4th edition D&D works. Is
That
that's how
Rakshasa are tigers?
yeah, the Rakshasa. I mean, the Rakshasas are from real world Hindu mythology.
Yeah.
But I think the Deva turn into Rakshasas is a 4E, just a rule that I pulled up from 4E.
Okay.
So you go from being a Christian angel to a Hindu demon,
Correct.
Hindu tiger.
tiger demon. Okay.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
so
don't know.
does Drock feel confident that this is the same one from the vision of Rajul? Not vision, but the memory of Rajul.
I mean, Mother didn't see that, but
Okay.
Well, Drock didn't see it either, right?
Well,
I saw it and I described it to the group.
right. So it would be a little hard to say if it was the exact same one, but
Okay.
he can see that Rakshasa has been thousands of individuals over the years, including Jua, who you know died.
Yeah. I mean, I'm precocious. I will blow up this guy's spot if Drock doesn't want to.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
All right.
I mean, we could just tell him, hey, we've imprisoned Rajul.
Yeah, I would say
Just to check his reaction.
Salfagaran, does the name Ra's al Ghul mean anything to you?
Awesome.
So, two things: one, are you saying that out loud, and two, are you fucking up the name intentionally, or are you continuing the joke?
I'm doing a bit and I would do it telepathically.
Okay.
Correctly.
I would know his full name. Let me see if I have it in my notes. I would tell you his full name.
Yeah,
His name.
I feel like I would remember it because for my character it would be like a week ago, and I would say it
Rajul
right.
Azjaun.
Yeah. So he's been. You say like send along that he's been properly imprisoned.
I guess I think I would say, does this name mean anything to you?
You see him. So, and you called himself Algarin, yeah?
Yeah,
So,
telepathically.
he gives you a strange look and sends back that does not mean anything to me, and it doesn't mean anything to other me.
I know this man because we have imprisoned him. He was bad, and we saw a moment of his life where he killed one like you, like the furry you.
Furry you.
Wow.
There's definitely a better way to say that.
Well, do you want to just go ahead and say that we saw him kill your persona? Like, is that what we're going to go with?
Yeah. Uh-huh. No judgment. I know it's not always a sex thing.
And if it is, who cares?
Yeah, that too.
That's a statement that happened. All right. So you
Harry will
send
be
out
hearing about this in the 4E Discord.
you hear enough about that you're able to pass along enough of the sort of image and message that he can understand that you know what he really is. And he kind of smiles at that, looks over towards you, and then says, I guess it's time that we're each on our own ways. But if anyone out there is watching, maybe this was a absolute good that I contributed to.
And how many absolute goods do you still need?
He shrugs and says, I don't know. I've never heard of anyone coming back. But if one bad deed can set you wrong, shouldn't there be one good deed good enough to set you right?
I hope so, for your sake. And mine.
Nope, sorry. Ship zips off.
And so he kind of looks over and says, then I guess we're parting ways. And do you want this token back? He kind of taps his chest, but he sends over an image of the ring.
Oh, I forgot about that stupid thing. That can't come on our ship, though.
What do we do with that?
Toss
What
it
was
in
that
the
thing, by the
sun.
way? It was one of
It just had the
11
names of the
No, I think
star
it
shadows.
had some significance.
It's the ring that had the beholders coming out of it in the vault.
Yeah.
It was like a portal.
Is it still a portal though? I thought we knew it was inert.
It is currently inert. Yes.
And
Very different.
oh well, and now we can No, couldn't we not bring it onto our ship because of?
We can never bring it on the ship.
Yeah.
You can't bring it on the ship because you're putting like pocket dimension inside of a pocket dimension style thing. Like it'll interfere with your ship systems, and it'll
This is another
very
mother.
bad things.
We need to call our mother.
Yeah.
two calls before we leave the driveway.
I forgot my lunch. Don't we have like destroy portal or like scuttle portal or something?
I think it's a little worse.
Scramble.
Seal portal. I have seal portal.
Scramble portal. Yeah.
I mean, scramble portal is a ritual you guys have.
Do I feel like I could seal this portal?
Not with any kind of. This is a thing you asked previously, and the answer is still the same. Not with any kind of permanency.
I see.
Scramble portal allows you for the ritual's duration to have the portal send creatures passing through it to a random destination.
Yeah, that's how we
So we just start sending beholders to random locations.
No, it's a single random location. It's what we did with the one portal under the ocean. You remember that?
Oh,
Portal
vaguely.
under the ocean.
That's the one where we sent the
With the
Leviathan
Koatoa or
portal
whatever.
to the black.
The sun or whatever.
That was
No,
our
there's
ship.
a giant portal that Leviathan were coming through under the ocean,
Yes.
which is how we saved the flotilla, and we sent all that. We scrambled that portal to go to the black.
Oh.
It's
So
been a minute since you did that, but yes.
Yeah.
That is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could have him hang on to it, or we could ask Mother to destroy it. I think either way, I would like to take like detailed notes and sketches of it.
So basically, he's saying like, "All right, well, we're clearly parting ways here. What do you want me to do with this?"
We could just tell him it's payment.
Have an evil portal as payment.
That's kind of messed up. Is it? I mean, it's feasible to talk to the queen and say, "Hello, we have this thing, and we don't want it."
We should have put it in the lab.
Mom, can you turn on the incinerator again?
And I think she would love destroying portals
Yeah, anything like that. She's like,
I would
"Yuck."
think so.
that beholders could come through.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Throw it at the sun.
Sure,
Prom.
we'll ask Mom again. Yeah.
Are you gonna tell him to cast it into the fire?
Yep.
Because I mean, if he just, you don't even need Mom to do anything. If he just takes it and chucks it towards the sun in space, it's probably going to get the job done with or without Mother doing anything specifically to it. So
Yeah, but it's the probably part of that sentence that has me worried.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like
Why
Stop
risk it?
I don't know what you've got planned.
So yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, get Mother's attention again. I mean, you're again still in the metaphorical driveway. So, if that's what you ask him to do, he will do it. He'll, sidle up and then chuck it off to the side of the ship into the sun, and then a big flare will come out and incinerate it.
Throw it into the sun. Although if summer power destroys it, is the adversary going to know? Scary tricking us.
I think he may already know. She wasn't very quiet.
So he throws the ring out, and then he's like, "All right, we're done." If that is the last of, from his perspective, the last of the threads was wrapped up with. what do you want me to do with this ring?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is to cast it into the sun. He's like, well, then I've got other things to be about. I will go and look into what I can.
Good fortune to you, Captain.
So he starts to accelerate off into the distance. Where are you guys going from here? Is it portal to Shadow or teleport to Shadowfell time?
Yeah, we can just teleport, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Does Shadow Mantle have the ability to wrangle our ship?
Don't
Or
know.
is it just because last time we used the little ritual? I think that's why. Remember he snatched us?
Hmm.
Well, last time you specifically walked into a ward that he created over the city, that you were told that there's a ward there, you shouldn't go into it, and then you're like, yeah, but what if we did anyways?
Well, it worked out.
We're great listeners.
You sure.
We're listeners.
We're listeners.
So you guys head off, and it is not difficult for the ship to get to the Shadowfell. And once you're in the Shadowfell, it would not be difficult for Morin to be able to orient on Shadowmantle's crypt. It is not really all that hard to find if you have the capacity to travel easily through the Shadowfell, which the ship does.
Nice. Do you think we could take like a 5?
Sure.
So
Okay.
does
Let's
space
do-
exist in a
This
Shadowfell?
is 7. So we'll do 7-minute break. We'll come back at the top of the hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question still stands. Oh no. Okay.
So the teleportation goes off without a hitch. You guys teleport to Silban, close to the crypt where Shadowmantle lives. And flying down, you approach this immense ziggurat that is like the size of a mountain. And Morin would be aware that his ziggurat in the fell is the work of like hundreds and hundreds of years worth of many thousand hands creating, right? So he just has a pretty much limitless supply of undead constantly building out and building up this ziggurat, which is miles tall and can be seen from most places in the fell. And one of the sort of key features of the ziggurat is the fact that you shouldn't be able to go this high. There is on this plane a roof. There is an uppermost limit to how high you can fly. It's about 500 feet. And anything beyond that just doesn't work. Like you can't. It gets exponentially harder to fly until you can't go up any higher. And the ziggurat has been slowly built up over hundreds or thousands of years. And as it does, it's slowly bent the effective roof of the plane around it to where there is this narrow corridor over the top of the ziggurat where you can only go up about 60 feet around the entire building itself. And so flying up to it, you have to get very close to the ground and kind of skirt the top of the things sticking off of the ziggurat, with the roof, with the top of the plane of the Shadowfell pressing against the ship. And even as you approach, even from a distance where you can see the ziggurat way off in the distance, you can see and sense something standing atop of the ziggurat. And as you get a little bit closer, the light on the top of the ziggurat lights, and Morin, you can feel the presence of Shadowmantle pushing out through the fell, drawing you to his fortress temple. Jesus, the ziggurat in the fell. So he knows you're coming.
I wave.
I wouldn't expect a banquet table awaiting us.
So
Cool picture.
there he is.
This is not at all what I pictured this guy looking like.
Have we ever seen him before? Or he was like always like hooded?
You haven't.
We haven't. We've talked to him though.
Yeah, he's almost always been hooded. And I think all the instances where the group has seen him, he's been hooded. But here in the fell, he doesn't have to wear his hood. So
Yeah.
it is not on.
Okay.
Why doesn't he have to wear it in the fell?
It's his house.
Yeah, this is his home. This is his plane.
Right. But so is there like a significance to not being in his plane, or is it just choice?
Not sure. But as you guys fly up on the ship, he is standing, holding his staff. His staff is actually in the other hand. From what it is depicted here, it basically never leaves his right hand. So he has his staff clutched in his right hand, and he's waiting as the ship flies close, and as the kind of outer side of the ship gets to brush up against his aura, the ship kind of shudders to a stop. It doesn't destroy anything, but you get the impression that if you flew much closer to him, that it would start to degrade the ship's energy reserves and would start to destroy the shield to be near him.
But
Lord
we
Shadowmantle,
will
I have
be okay.
I have brought your new subjects as you requested. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The long con.
So the question is sort of like, he's not making any sort of motion to come towards you while you guys are on your ship. Would you, take the discs, stand on the top of the ziggurat with him, or would you kind of talk to him from a distance?
I wave.
I'll just say it out loud because I know it can hear me. I'm gonna say it as a normal tone of voice too. I'm not gonna shout or anything. Be like, "Hello. We we came to talk to you for a couple of things, but often it's polite to knock on the door before you walk in. So, do you care if we come over?"
So he very slightly nods to you, and then he gestures next to himself. And you can see along the top of the ziggurat that there are many undead that are constructing a table for you to sit around.
Okay.
They're like bringing out a table and chairs for you to sit around.
Sure. Let's do it.
I'll give like a half bow and go sit at the table.
Same.
So he waits for everybody to get down, and then he doesn't go and sit. He just goes and stands in a place at the head of the table, and he doesn't say anything. He just watches for a second, and then like looks to each of you in turn, like, okay, you've got my attention.
You're quite the showman.
Sorry. So I guess I would say, Lord Shadowmantle, I hope that my message from your wraith in 3 trees reached you concerning the research of the elemental lab. I don't think I've learned very much more about the elemental lab since I sent that off.
Is that Josh saying that last part, or?
Yes, it is. I'm trying to remember. I guess I've learned a little bit more about the chaos elementals, I guess, like what they are. So the chaos elementals are like devils, and the Alandari are demons, which I don't know how like widely known that is in the world.
You have it backwards, by the way.
Oh, I do?
Yes. Alandari
Yes.
are devils.
Yes.
The
Yeah. The Alandari devils, chaos elementals are what we would call demons. Is it the case though that like Chaos Elemental and Alandari is the modern name and Devil and Demon is the old name?
Yes.
Okay. I presume Shadow Mantle already knows that. Um, but you said you you told me to send along my companion when she more fully understands the nature of the orb she carries, because you know of the location of at least one. And she is here hoping to gather these orbs because we have been extensively involved, as I'm sure you're aware, in combating the efforts of the adversary to unmake this reality.
I'll bow and proffer my orb.
So he looks down at the orb, he looks at you, and says, "Knowledge is what was asked. You must know what you carry for you to be worth spending anything on to make you stronger. Do you understand now what you carry?"
I do. I understand that this is a Morthak, and I understand that when all of these orbs are assembled, the Watcher will return. And I understand that the Watcher is older than this universe and may remake this universe anew.
So you hear this slight creaking, like someone tightening a leather belt, and you see the what is remaining of the flesh on the side of his faces change a little. It doesn't look anything like a smile, but you kind of get the impression that if it could, that's what it would be. Good. Good. I can't properly use it anymore. You know enough. You look to combine them together to bring her back. Do you not?
Did he say her?
He did.
I do seek to combine them.
Watch her. Herstory, girl boss.
So he looks, and you can see that there is something on those spells that are on his skull that are kind of like flashing in a pattern. You can tell that he's drawing on some sort of thing that would be vaguely equivalent to like an insight check on you. Like he's trying to see if you're telling the truth. And then he says, "Your timeline is so muddled by your conveyance. But I must trust what instincts I have left." And then he turns his other hand. He very slowly does like a flick of the wrist, only for him, it takes him like 20 seconds to actually move his hand that much. And then one of the orbs appears in his hand. And then he goes to offer it over towards you.
I would take it.
So you take the orb, and now you've got two orbs that are kind of floating around you. And you see him kind of watching to see what you're going to do.
I would combine them.
So you press them close to one another. The orb that has been normally going around you splits for a moment into two. The orb he just gave you splits into two. You see the four orbs start to orbit around each other, closer and closer, faster and faster, until they fall into each other as one. his 2 orbs and your 2 orbs.
Oh hell yeah!
I thought you only had one orb.
No, I have 2 orbs.
No, I think Drox said I thought he only had one orb.
No, I
No,
thought
he
I
had-
thought one only had. Because didn't you only want 3?
Yeah, I didn't know that he was gonna be very forthcoming about giving both of his orbs, but that's cool.
And you see that he, right as he's watching everything combined, that there's a little bit of surge of energy from him, and that he seems to be very, very acutely focused. You can't tell for certain, but you're pretty certain he's hitting the area around you with some hardcore divination spells. Like you can feel divination magic around you, even if you don't recognize it exactly. And it seems, I guess, overkill is the right choice. It's like he's doing a scry of your location, watching you, but he's also standing right here.
Hmm. Can I, being a divination master myself, tell what's going on more than that?
Yeah, can you do that? Can you do me can you make an Arcana check for me?
Yes, I can.
And this is considered, if you have like bonuses, you have some bonus for like scrying stuff. That's what this is.
Okay, I have scry. I have +4 to scrying, and then I also have divination is like at 4 levels higher.
It'll be the same thing effectively, so just +4.
Okay, cool. Arcana +4.
I'm trying to read what the upgrade does, but this sheet is so whack.
I got a 41.
So you can see what he's using is something akin to divine sight. He's looking at your specific thing that you're doing, but he's looking at it from more perspectives than you should be able to do. He's kind of like looking at it like an oracle would look at something.
Like almost like he's using like a summer power, but it's not summer.
Yeah, but it's not Summer that's doing it. He's drawing energy, and it doesn't seem like he's drawing it from something else. It's like he's not drawing a
him.
greater energy. He's doing it himself.
Yeah.
And you see him watching very intently. The orbs spin and go together, and then nothing happens for a moment. You look around. Nothing is happening anywhere. He's not moving. None of your friends are moving. Nothing around you is moving. The orb is moving. Now the 4 pieces in one, slowly rotating around you. Scratch, 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 scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. What is one of many doing?
Do I sense anything with my arcana or primal senses?
You sense something, but it's kind of confused because it's like no energy is moving. Everything, just like everyone around you, is perfectly still, unnaturally still, impossibly still. Like when you look around, everything but you and your orbs are a painting. You, your orbs, and whatever's making that sound.
Okay. I'm worried that this is what's her face in my head. Do I think this is Walker related?
You're not sure? That would be a dungeoneering check to try to figure it out.
Okay. I'll dungeoneer. Let's see. I should just pull my token out. I will use my ribbon of limitless questions to reroll a failed intelligence or wisdom check.
Didn't you do that recently? Or was it a
I didn't do that did I? Ooh, keep me honest. I didn't write it down. Was it in last session? Because we long rested before that, right?
I think it might have been.
I
think
I
that's
don't
what
think it was
you
the last
used
session. I think it was when you guys were trying to figure out stuff around the outside of the star. So it was like 2 sessions ago, but I think it was still the same day.
No, I think it was last
Oh,
session because you used it on the
it was a
ritual
secret.
that the queen was casting.
Oh yeah, it was a secret. It was a Gary roll. Yeah. Okay, wait. Do it. Okay. Yep. So it's a 19.
So you no idea. You don't sense any aberrant energy or any like far realm energy, but you
Hmm.
can hear that.
But
A
the orb
scratch.
is moving.
The orb is floating around you. Yeah.
Can I I guess try to draw power through it?
So you draw power through it, and the world goes to grayscale, goes to black and white. You look around for a second, and you see someone standing there, a woman holding a book open
Mm.
in one hand, writing with a quill. There's a little inkwell floating next to her. You can see she looks like she's maybe 16 or 17 years old. But as you're watching her, you see her face change. She gets older. Her hair goes from black to gray to white and then back to black again. Her age and her face, her body changes. You've seen a lot of things that do this, like Clotho does, where they are many things in one. But this doesn't look the same. This doesn't look like it's thousands of different women in the same place. This looks like one woman, just in different times in her life. She never looks like she's younger than about 15 and never looks like she's older than about 60.
But is it the woman from the vision?
It is.
Oh, okay. Hello.
She looks up. She has those same brilliant blue eyes. Yes means? What do you need?
Oh, I seem to
Whoa.
be in a weird pocket dimension, with you and nobody else. Do you know what that's about?
She scrunches her face. Weird. Oh. Oh. Oh, so this is your first time. Okay. Um then what triggered this? What do you need to know?
Uh,
She closes the book. You hear it snap shut. And then she waves her other hand and the inkwell disappears and she hurries forward. Her voice is, I'm not going to even try to do it, but it's doing this thing where it oscillates from being a young woman's voice to being an old woman's voice and then back and forth, sometimes in the same word.
this is my first time. I would like to know everything, and I've just combined two of these orbs of the Watcher to now be four orbs of the Watcher.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So it's not complete yet. She walks up to you and looks up. She's a decent bit shorter than you are. Oh, you're means you're still mortal? You should probably get back into your timeline before it kills you.
Yeah, I'd like that. Y- are you? Do I know you?
Um, not sort of, not yet. You will know who I am at some point, and you'll have this conversation with me in the other way, and it'll suck. But just for starters, I apologize. In your future, I apologize for being a bit of a bitch. But like when that happens, you're gonna forgive me, I think. In most of the timelines, you forgive me. But What's important now is if this is the first time for you, you need to understand I'm not doing any of this. She gestures around with her fingers wildly. You are. And if you get too disjointed from your own time and you're not immortal yet, you're going to have a brain hemorrhage, and you don't really look like you're weak enough that death is going to be like a real inconvenience, but it could still be a problem. You should probably stop.
Yeah, I did die once. I didn't like it. Um, if you're not doing this, if I'm doing this, how do I go back?
Oh, you kind of did it partially. She gestures around to the landscape. Just channel a little bit of power. Remember when you are, and you should be able to go. I'd recommend it doing sooner rather than later, and then we can talk when you're not mortal anymore.
Okay, you gotta remember beginning of campaign. Reset everything and just do this whole thing on a loop.
Uh, okay. Is there something I could call you? Just curious.
So she smiles and says, well, yeah, I guess it's that time too. She scratches her head for a second. She pushes her hair behind her ear, and you see when she does it, the hair goes all black. Her age solidifies for a second until she's about 16. She puts up her hand, goes to shake your hand, and says, nice to meet you. I'm Iris.
Isn't that the name of the Morthak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you shake her hand?
I absolutely do.
So you shake her hand, and you can see that all behind her, as soon as you touch her, is a massive, endless corridor, a huge network of labyrinths of massive shelves of endless books. She's standing in front of you, grabbing your hand, smiling and looking up to you like a 16-year-old girl. But then when you see in her eyes, in the deep, deep blue, you see uncalculable knowledge, a history of everything. She gives you a kind of girlish smile, lets go of your hand, and goes, right, remember, brain hemorrhage bad, turn on time, come back when you can't die.
I give her a thumbs up and I channel a little power through the orb and I remember a ziggurat.
So you pop back into time, and when you do, everything looks kind of normal, but you're a few steps off to one side. Nobody around you seems to notice that anything has changed, except you see that Shadow Mantle, he's now looking slightly off to one side. He's looking to where Iris was standing.
Hmm.
That rat.
I narrow my eyes at him.
He doesn't react.
Okay. Do I feel any physical effects?
You feel a little like jittery, like you just did like, you know, four shots of espresso like all at once. But other than that, you feel fine. You're like a little high on adrenaline, a little shaky, but beyond that, you feel okay.
Okay.
Here, I have a question. Does Shadow Mantle look that? Does he look at things, or does it seem like he senses things? If that makes sense.
He does seem to direct his face towards stuff, but his eyes don't look like he has like pupils. So
Okay, that's kind of what I was asking.
yeah, like he doesn't. His eyes don't move at things, but he does move his head to point his eyes in different directions. So maybe. I would say that after a couple of seconds, when you feel that sense of the divine sight fades.
Mm. Okay. Guess I give myself a little shake and bow to Shadow Mantle and say, thank you so much for this boon. I feel that we are that much closer to reuniting her.
He looks at you and says, I can demand nothing from you, but I would ask, just out of curiosity, what does means mean?
What?
I wish that I knew, but I think that was part of my before time.
You see him kind of very slightly like alter his whole body down. Like he's nodding, but his body is too stiff to really move in that way. Since I think that what was from Michael, not Filibuster,
Yes.
does Kylie understand the question that I asked?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
I don't
I think
particularly
so.
want to tell him. Yeah, out of character. If anybody wants to know, so my character's backstory is that she was what was it? No, so inheritor of meaning was her sister. And wait, I have to look. It's in the ghostly conversation. So we had different names, and then when my brain was like co-opted by the adversary, whatever that means, then I became one of many. And means is what was like my, nickname. Like all of the Eladrin of my clan had like a 3 name structure.
So yeah, he just asked, "What does that mean?" And you said that it's something from before. And he nodded and let it go.
Yep.
So after that happens, he looks back towards the rest of the group and says, "Do we have other business? I have much that I need to personally look into, and your ship's unique presence is uncomfortable for my spells."
If I may, Lord Shadowmantle, um, you you have seen us carry out deeds to oppose the adversary, and I would find it very beneficial if I would be able to complete my ritual on the Death Shard Elemental.
He does that thing where he shifts, where you can take that as him nodding, and he says, "The binding has been with me long enough. You should be able to sense it now." He pulls his hand away from his body, and you see little serpentine waves of dark energy go between his fingers. And it doesn't look like the same sort of thing that the adversary does. Like they have these tendrils that look like they're black, like tentacles. This doesn't look the same. It still has that sort of shadow look to it, like smoke, but it doesn't have the same sort of physicality that some of the outsider stuff does. And he will hold out his hand towards you, saying that you're strong enough now. You should be able to sense the elementals binding through me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I will shift my spear to my other hand and reach out and grab it.
So you reach out, and you are mechanically you are high enough level that there is no check for this.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, you are adept enough at Arcana and adept enough at the arcane and rituals and things that you can see that he was holding a little piece of the true binding, and he was kind of holding it in reserve, waiting for you to come back with stuff, and he allows it to pass from him to you. When it does, you feel your connection to him change. instead of it being one of master and servant, there is something else. Like you're both drawing from the same source, rather than him drawing on something and then you drawing it from him. With this binding, it's like you both draw from the same place, and that the same place is all around you.
Nice.
If
So am I-
you
go ahead.
want to deepen your connection and learn what it means to be one with death, return to my ziggurat and I will induct you into death eternal.
We will. I am unsure if my path lies in death. But this is not off the table.
So he nods and says, when you know for certain, the bond will teach you. He releases. You complete your true binding quest.
We have any resurrection scrolls?
Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
Excellent.
The main thing is that the second part of the binding that you get, you can now create another pact, but a pact with the elements instead.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what just happened?
Is that
Look
you
at
as
More.
Oh.
So long ago, I attempted to bind this Death Shard elemental that is bound to Shadow Mantle to myself, and it killed me. But me dying midway through the binding would fuck up the Death Shard elemental, and Shadow Mantle needed it. So Shadow Mantle resurrected me. That's how I am alive.
Mhm.
I've since come back, and he doesn't need the Death Shard elemental anymore. So we now both have a binding to it individually. I don't have, like, the narrative-wise, I don't have a pact or a binding to Shadow Mantle anymore.
Hmm.
And what was that?
That is not what he did.
Okay.
He basically said this is complete. So Morin would be able to understand that he's still connected to something, but he's not connected to the elemental. He's connected to the same thing that Shadow Mantle is connected to.
Yeah, he said
Not the
shadow.
elemental,
Right.
the fell.
Correct.
So, are you going to become a lich?
I could become a lich.
Do you want to become a lich?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I have the opportunity to.
Mm.
Think about it.
But because I have the binding with Death Shard elemental, I can now be resurrected.
I thought you didn't like breathing.
Why would you think that?
Didn't you not like it when you had to breathe that one time?
Was I unused to it? Sure.
Okay.
I want to get Drox read on this.
On what Morin just did?
I don't know. Do you feel like he's evil?
I mean, he started this
Oh,
session
evil.
saying he should kill me, so I mean,
I
Kill
mean, he
you.
wouldn't even give me concordance. for that.
Grog, you and I have an unspeakable bond.
Where you try and hurt me all the time. Yes, understood.
So that you can actually hit something.
Wow.
Oh.
Dang. Some words hit different.
Okay, so that interaction, for whatever reason, in my head, put Morin in the role of Wednesday and Drock in the role of Pugsley.
Yeah, I'd say that's about
Yeah,
right.
you know what? That's kind of fitting here, yeah.
I wish I got that reference.
Only we watched
Addams
the Addams
Family.
Family.
I mean, I know that's the Addams Family, but I've never watched it.
We'll have to wait until next October
Hmm.
for movies.
So yeah, so Shadow Mantle does those two things.
Fantastic.
And then he asks us to GTFO.
Yeah, basically, it's like you're parked on my lawn and it's annoying.
Okay. Well,
I love the idea of that character right there on our screen being like, "You're parked on my lawn and it's very annoying."
I mean,
Such an old man.
He said it in a very different way, but that is very much what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just? I'm going to ask one last question. Lord Shadowmantle, I know where one orb remains, but the other two I am not certain. Do you know where they might be found?
So
Wait, don't you know where two of them are?
I'm trying to think how he would respond. So
Yeah. I would clarify. I know Ondasong has offered me her orb when I have collected the other 6.
And then, but I thought Bedvere's wife had one.
We have heard that, but we don't know for certain. So
Okay.
just, doing some due diligence.
Isn't it also bad to get all of them? Don't we want to, like, stop at a point?
Okay,
Well,
bad
she
as a
definitely has
perspective,
to
as
stop
everyone
until
keeps
she's level
saying.
21.
So he thinks about it for a little bit, and then says, "The location of the rest of the orbs has not been a priority of mine for many years. Not since the companions stopped pursuing them. I do not know now where they are, but I could learn. If you are a worthy wielder, you could learn just as well as I."
That is fair. Who are these companions you mentioned?
We've heard that before.
He does that really slow, like, hand flick that he did to summon the orb, but in a slightly different way, like almost dismissively. It just looks really weird because he does it so slowly. And then says, "There have been many groups like yours over the millennia that believe they are different than those that come before. But the last who tried to unite the orbs were closer than most to being different. You've met the Dasang, and I recognize Marquise's orb as one you have. The others of their band, they may have more pieces still."
Is that Gwendolyn? Lugos?
He gives sort of like a half nod and says, the surname, as you would say it, the affliction as they have it. I recognize, but not that name.
You call Lugos an affliction? To be an outcast?
Their species is very prideful in what they are. To be outcast from the ordering is an affliction for them.
So not Guinevere, but a different Lugos.
She didn't say Guinevere.
I said
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn.
So not Gwendolyn, but he's like, I don't know Gwendolyn Lugos, but I recognize Lugos. And yes, one of them was one of the companions.
Did I misspeak? Was Gwendolyn the daughter?
Gwendolyn was the daughter.
I should have said Guinevere. Would that have changed things? Sorry.
I think that the names are close enough, and it's kind of if it was a slip of the tongue, it would make sense in context.
Mhm.
So it'd be fine to keep it there.
Okay.
And if you did in character correct it, he would give his like strange, inclining of his whole body nod towards Guinevere.
Okay.
So he recognized a group, the companions that tried to unite the orbs last time as on the Sphinx and Lugos.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I think we kind
was
of
it?
knew.
Was
The
it
companions.
Gwendolyn, the daughter?
Yeah.
Beth Mahisa's like really good friend or something.
Like goddaughter.
I think
Goddaughter,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Session 46, November 19th, 2022. So actually 2 years ago, we entered a place called the Hall of the Companions.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was where
Genius.
we fought the Koatoa.
Oh.
And that's where you got the first orb.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
you,
that was
Gary.
that was a temple to that god that was like Bedvere's god.
Yeah.
Temple to the god of the ordning, to one of the storm gods.
Oh,
Specifically, the storm god connected with storm giants.
Yeah. How about
Gary,
that?
you're a bad man.
Like I said earlier, one of the things I love about this campaign is I can just say stuff and I don't have to footnote it for you guys. You will just eventually kind of put the pieces together, and it makes this, for me, feel like the world feels more real because things will just happen naturally without, exposition sidebars turning to the camera.
I want to say something to Shadow Mantle so bad, but I think he'll kill me. I'm so sad.
Try it.
Do it.
Just make sure Morin gets a little prick on you
Yeah.
before you go.
Let me just do 1 HP at damage first. I just need the assist.
Basically, when we're walking out the door, I'd like to say something that's like, you should get that thing with your throat checked out. Or something.
Jesus.
In reference to his slow speaking.
That's ableist.
You're correct.
This guy is so old. And he's not immortal, is he?
No, he is.
No, he's immortal. He doesn't have a nature.
Yeah.
Is it rare for there to be an immortal creature that doesn't have a nature?
I mean, like there are definitely things on the list, but
There's tons of them. You're soon
I mean,
going
like
to be
vampires, for example.
Oh,
they
right.
they fall under a similar category.
But they're kind of abominations, though.
Experiments of a bored god.
Failed experiments of a bored immortal.
Yeah, failed experiments of a bored immortal. Damn.
That's what vampires are?
Mm-hmm. That's
That's
what
Well, that's specifically what the Night King called Ferno. That's what he called Ferno before he killed him.
I think he was insulting On specifically,
Well,
not saying that about all vampires.
we just need to have a chat with Anne beforehand so I can slip that in,
Mm-hmm.
and then her final moments she'll be like, "I've heard that before," and then she'll know it was me.
Uh-huh. Jesus.
Maybe if you can convert her to belief in a god before it happens, you assist that way.
She
The
wanted to
only
be
god
a
she believes in
god.
is the one she wants to be. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you
That's
could have like a Mormon thing where like if she dies but she believes enough, she'll become a god.
oh. You should be on the mission to make her a god so that you could have one more god to take a shot at.
True.
Great. Let's leave.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get out of your hair. Sorry. We'll get out of your yard and
That's
Bone
great.
on our way.
dust. Yeah,
Also, that's baldest.
that is baldest.
If you have nothing else to say to Shadow Mantle, he doesn't really react very much to you guys leaving. But he didn't really react very much while you were there. So he barely moved the whole conversation.
He's very old.
He's like a lizard that's too cold.
He's a really
You can
cool
use
guy,
some sun.
guys.
You see that guy's bones?
He's literally only done good things since we've met him.
Uh-huh. I mean,
Has he?
I appreciate his help. I didn't bring up that time that I saw him murder all those people in that
What?
church.
Oh,
He didn't murder them. He just
Could
ritually
pull their souls out of their
took
body
their
and made
soul.
them into a half a ghoul, half of a soul.
Correct.
um,
Yes. That is different
so
from murder.
is there a reason he might want to either kill or take control of your Morthak?
Yeah. I kind of thought he might try to murder me, but he didn't.
Well, he needs access to the Morthak first.
Like, you think he wants me to get all of them and then he's going to come kill me?
I mean, he'll try.
Yeah. I think a lot of people might try.
Yeah. But I'm asking
What's your point?
why he might want to do that if it's also going to save him from the adversary. I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, I think he likes the universe the way that it is with his Shadowfell. I don't think he wants the universe to be remade or ended.
Hmm.
You could ask him.
No.
Yeah, same.
Oh, more than typing.
Also, I feel like Kylie is having a moment, or maybe has not had this moment yet, of just seeing just how much stronger her weapon is with 4 orbs.
Oh no, I know that 4 is crazy and I'm very excited.
You get back on the ship, you blip off to somewhere else. Where is that?
Let's go scrap at the plane of the Iron Tower. So let me get these stats and roll 20 real quick.
Wait, I thought they didn't need our help anymore.
No, I don't know if they do. They're
Ugh.
fighting. They're fighting the Whis, right?
The Imperium. Are the Whis there as
Imperium.
well?
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
I thought it was
Yes.
Whis ships primarily.
So it's Whis ships that are fighting near the tower, and then you can see that there's, like when you saw through the portals is what you're asking, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's Whis ships that are fighting near the tower, and then in the background, in the backdrop of things, you can see Imperium world ships in the distance. So they are together. They're both attacking.
Cool. What do we do now? That was all of our plans.
I know.
I guess we have to go talk to On.
Do you think
Do you want-
that Mother has
Is
figured out
on-
where the ship is yet?
It's
Do you think that was enough time?
Yeah.
I don't think it's been quite enough time. You guys
Is
had
On
a
available to talk to?
Also, I would like to point out, you guys just went to someone who was one of these like ancient and powerful figures and you had a reasonable length conversation with one of them.
Well,
Well,
that's
we get in the
because I
campaign here
feel I'm
now.
afraid to ask him questions because he'll
he's
just kill me.
terrifying.
Yeah,
It's like
and he
I don't
smells like cheese. I don't know.
I don't know why he didn't murder us or double cross us, and I don't want to push it.
Well, that's because he has larger plans. He has plans to double cross you.
I know. He probably was checking out that walker in my head. It's like, hey, buddy. keep
No, he
doing
doesn't
what
like
you're
the
doing.
walk. He's explicitly against the adversary.
He is.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
what is on the to-do list now?
Well, we did talk about going to Plane of the Iron Tower, and what else did we talk about?
Unresolved things on the Prosperity Master List.
I was actually trying to scroll up to see if I could find what Foxy said about stuff so that we could not do whatever those things are. But
She had some questions
yeah, I'm
for
trying to see. It
Mother.
doesn't look like she has much since last session because I didn't want to like, hey, there's a thing that Foxy cares about. Let's do that right now. But I
Yeah.
don't see that she said much in the main chat. But I could have sworn we talked about it. Maybe it was just we talked about it last session at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm just reading your orb. If someone like me teleports near you, you can teleport us further.
Yes.
When I first read that, I thought enemies only, and then I was reading the line about unwilling.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun. I got a new power that this could be a lot of fun with teleports these days.
Nice.
These days.
Mm-hmm. So we blew up the lab. Drock had said, is there a way back to the vault to investigate?
Was there anything, like we had said we wanted to go back to the vault. Is there anything actually at the vault that we do want to check out?
You mean like the soul vault or the iron star?
Like the
Threefold Vault?
the one where we went into like Clotho's vault, and then there was two others that we never actually explored.
Mhm.
That's not true. You went into two of them.
We went into Mother's. We didn't go into Grandmother's, and we don't know Grandmother's name yet. So, or do we? No, we do. It's Titania.
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 But we were
So we-
told that name by somebody that didn't know how to know its power or something.
Mm-hmm. So, but we might be able to open that third vault.
But do we actually care?
I mean, I'm sure it's important, but it's not the most pressing thing. We also could,
I personally think the most pressing thing is the vision from On
yeah.
Basalt.
Yeah, I think the vision is pretty important. Oh, we didn't talk to the queen about the Formians. Hey, Drock, mommy.
We'll be back up.
Oh boy.
No.
At least we left the driveway.
I'll spare Philly. I know his head will explode. Yeah, let's go talk to On.
I think because I'm looking through things, right? So there's discussion of like, what do we want to do afterwards? There's stuff. I mean, now obviously there's stuff for going to talk to On. There's stuff with the mirror. There's stuff at the Iron Tower. Stuff with the Whis. And there's one other thing that I thought I just scrolled past, but I don't see now. Yeah.
So on our list, we have uniting the eyes, fighting the adversary, following visions, angel prophecy, Anne's godhood, Al-Shaib's freedom. Those are our big threads.
We can't free Al Shaib until he comes down from his high. So
That's true.
Oh. I remember now the thing. I was like, what was it that they were talking about? Because I made a list of like what's some stuff that they could possibly do. And there was someone talking about like if they wanted to interfere with it was like the Ariel's actions on the Prime.
Oh, me.
How so? Interfere.
We had a
Alright.
vision of Black Therial blasting like grabbing a dude by a head and killing him.
We did?
What?
Yeah, that was the New Year's Eve one shot last year.
Yep.
Oh. Did we ever get that?
Yeah, I recall. Because I asked Gary when we got it, and he goes, "Oh, it came."
I thought that
I don't remember that.
I don't remember ever getting that. Is that the one
Yeah.
where you're like cleaning up wreckage after the battle?
Did we have to watch the whole one shot to get it?
It was like the very end of the one shot, like the very end.
I did not finish watching that.
You
I
missed,
never watched that at
you missed the
all.
juice.
Guess so.
Gary, we
So
did get that though, right? That's
yeah,
information we have.
correct. This information is a vision that you guys would have had, and it has happened. It's completed, right? Like the rod has gone cold, and basically the vision is you you would catch up to the point where this ship has gone out into the middle of the ocean and is doing some like deep sea salvage,
Mhm.
and they bring up a beacon from the bottom of the ocean. They bring up the beacon of one of the lost ships from Hardhome,
Mm.
and the idea there is that they were, all like the person who was in charge of the ship, the captain, was very very fervent believer in the rescuing of what happened to save the city itself, and had kind of gone down the zealotry deep end of things. And then Zactheriel appears at the end, and basically says, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take all these things out. You're here to oppose these things. That's wonderful." And then when he shows up in his full sort of terrifying form, and she shows that she is the angel of slaughter, one of the sailors does something that is a relatively typical thing for the sailors that are in this part of the world. Starts praying to the Saint Tython. So starts praying to the Church of the Leviathan because this is
Oh,
terrifying.
no.
And then Zactheriel blows him up, and then says,
Yeah, like grabs him by the skull and says, "Die."
"Yeah, like all things that are like this, we will remove them from the mortal plane. We will wipe out all worship of the adversary."
Hmm.
And then the ship is like, "Sweet, we got it, boss."
Oh, so are they just roaming the seas, killing Saint Typhon people?
Yeah.
I
There's
feel
a
like that might be
crusade.
one. That might be one that Griffle wants to deal with.
And one of your visions has to deal with the after effects of that,
Oh
if you remember.
no.
There's something about sunrise service that always feels more satisfying than sunset service. It's the one
Oh,
where the priestess goes down to the
the ocean or whatever.
goes down to the ocean and then gets destroyed by a star shadow.
Yeah, that's related to that.
Well, the in the vision, the star shadow shows up and is like, "Hey, people are wiping out the temples. Like something must be done."
Oh.
I don't think I
So
put all that together. That
Father
was
Geshman has warned you of the arrogance of the Kotoa and sometimes visited the mooring, but he never spoke of the ones that came with such demands. As he was speaking, a cold was crawling up your back and settling in the base of your skull. You can't say yes to this request. It would be dangerous to say no. It says, some of the sacred nightmares of late have told of a burning light, a pure hatred that demands vengeance. They wake screaming and withdraw from the morning light. I've turned to the text, but they've offered little guidance. I would be grateful to your words for those above.
So I don't really know what we would like. It doesn't sound like a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing.
yeah. I think we need to either do Aegis or On.
Do you want to meet with On, or do you want to just send a sending to her?
Man,
Um,
my thing is like maybe we don't even need to interact with her. We just need to figure out where
what to do with her?
where to get I've already lost his name.
Dalseth.
Dalseth. Okay,
Dalseth's
yeah.
soul is, and like just leverage the vision and just like trust that Margot is gonna do what she said she's gonna do.
Do we have a way to get in touch with Margot? Maybe we could,
Yeah, I mean, you could do a planner sending to her.
right? Do we see any benefit in talking to her? I mean, I could do like a consult oracle. Like, is Margot planning to double cross the Night King and kill him or kill On? An oracle would know
It
that.
might not even be an or. It could be a both and.
I think
Yeah, that's true.
I always forget how Oracle stuff works with plans.
I mean, it's just if somebody knows it, and
Yeah,
I guess Margot might not know in her heart what she will do. So you got a loophole.
yeah, because it's mostly like asking like, what does this thing intend? Is kind of asking the main thing that I look at always is the Oracle has no foreknowledge and a limited ability to judge what it sees. It's like you're asking them to make a judgment call of what do you think they're going to do with this.
Right.
Where like if you had a specific piece of evidence to go for, then you could, like, for example, does the knife have the Night King's name on it? Right, that is concrete. There doesn't need to be any judgment for the Oracle to make. It doesn't have
Right.
to make a judgment call of like think about something. It just has to say, yes or no.
Yeah.
Or even if it was what is the name, it could tell you the name, and that doesn't take any judgment call. Whereas like but it can't answer the question what would will we do well if we venture through the gate. I mean, maybe, like,
Yeah. I get you. Well, we could try to do some library research to figure out where the Dalseth ship is.
I thought we were just going to consult Oracle and ask where that ship went.
We could try that. We could try that right now if you want.
so where are you guys going to do that?
Oh,
I mean, if that's what you're gonna do, cool. Where are you going? Because you can't stay here parked on his lawn, and even if you could, you can't do consult Oracle on the ship.
I know. We need a clubhouse.
I have a demens.
Can we take the ship into your demens?
I don't think it works that way.
Can we cast a divination ritual inside your demons?
I don't see why not.
So do we just like meditate and then go there?
I'd
Jerry?
really rather not.
I mean, Filibuster would have the capacity to get there himself and to bring others with,
Okay.
Including a smelly dead man.
including a smelly dead man.
Do I want to go into a demons?
You've
could
already
just start
technically been
stabbing.
into one. Isn't the bank kind of a demens?
Hmm.
No, not really.
Oh, okay, never mind. Haha.
What
It
a
is
demens?
a smaller dimension, but it's not a demens.
Did the Hercator know everything?
Did the Hercator know everything?
Yeah,
Does
was
he doesn't know
Hercator
everything.
he wasn't a know everything guy. He had that like wheel thing.
He could find out some information. He had some method of finding out information. Yeah.
Can he uh find out where Dalseth's ship is? Is that a perk of the black card that Philly has?
I will say that when he used his what is it called? Shit, it has a specific name. Something wheel. When he used the wheel to do stuff,
Hmm.
he was basically just doing something similar to what the Queen did when she reached through something to get context knowledge. He didn't really share much of what he learned. He used the wheel to understand when you were asking him questions and debating things. He didn't really share any of that information. So it's a question of would he be able to find out? And then secondarily, would he care to share any of that information?
Okay.
So is the plan to teleport the ship in the middle of the space someplace and then hop into the Dements to do some divinations?
Yeah, I feel like we should get out of the Shadowfell though.
Yeah.
Like, you need to leave the Shadowfell. I don't care where you go. You just need to tell me where that is.
We can do divination in the Demons.
You have not tried it, but do not see a reason why you can't.
Perfect.
All right, let's try it. Let's teleport to the plane of the Iron Tower. Just kidding.
What's the safest place you can think of?
The Reach.
Actually, yes. Probably true.
Yeah, let's go visit the Witch of the Fens. She'll get us some
No
safe
ulterior
harbor.
motive at all.
We can just teleport back to the sun.
I don't know anything about her, so I just want to find that
Just like,
blacksmith.
here, we just teleport back to the sun, and she's like, "What are you doing? Mom, I need to do my laundry."
Well, I was just thinking, what if we like ported back to the Primal quick and then consult Oracle and picked Shadow Mantle as our Oracle?
Hilarious.
We have just a wealth of knowledge. Why don't is there? I don't know. I don't know
What?
what a good place to teleport is.
Well, let's pull up the map. Where's the map? There it is.
I mean,
Grave of Summer.
objectively,
Just
right?
kidding.
Objectively, I feel like I have an answer, but I don't know if it's what you guys would consider the answer.
We could
Um,
go. What?
Wait, to what?
To where to go? Let's consult Oracle. Oh wait,
Wait, can we go to Haven? Is Haven safe?
we could go to Haven. We could go to the Legion outside of Guerderic, right? Isn't that where they were? Or the
The
island? Sorry.
outpost, yeah,
Yeah, the outpost.
the 616 or whatever it's called.
We could go back to Silver Spire. We could go to,
I don't
although
think
that's in
Silver
the
Spire is
Prime.
safe.
We could
Are
go
we
to the
avoiding the
Astral
Prime?
Sea. I think we were told to avoid the Prime.
That has,
But it's been like weeks.
yeah, that's been a while.
Okay, well, I don't know.
We
Why
gotta
were
wipe
we
the
told to
guilds.
avoid the Prime again?
Because the Weiss and the Imperium were looking for us.
We fucked up
'Cause-
their attack on Haven.
Because of our Haven shenanigans. We had
Yeah.
to lay low. We could go back to Tentaris.
Okay, now you're just listing places we've been.
Yeah.
Well, that I think
How
that's the
else
point.
does it work?
You want me to list places we haven't been? We could go to Prosperity. We could go to Faith. We could go to Sanctuary.
Gary, what's your answer?
Yeah, what's your answer?
Well, you guys have gone someplace, and if you're trying to go to what is like the, complete faraway safe place, it's somewhat of the opposite of where you guys are parked right now. But you've interacted with something that got the fuck away from everything, specifically to avoid Shadow Mantle himself.
Thalsa?
I mean, yes, but not intentionally.
The Sphinx? That's
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we could go visit her.
Oh, can we
She's
just
nice.
roll up?
I said White Sands.
That's why I stopped saying something, because it did get onto the list.
I was too busy talking over you to hear you.
Why again was the Sphinx avoiding Shadow Mantle?
Well,
I
do you see
believe
what he
it's
looks like? I would avoid him too.
he's a nice guy.
All right.
You just harbor very, very not deeply seated prejudices. Shallowly seated prejudices. The Sphinx said that there is knowledge that she has that it would be bad for Shadow Mantle to have, and he loves getting knowledge, and he would take it.
But yeah, you need a place to go. Pick place,
Yeah.
hit button, go.
White
All
Sands.
right. We
Let's
go to
go.
White Sands.
Sounds
Mhm.
nice.
This is where Gary says, and because of the time dilation of being in the Shadowfell, you all die.
You explode.
Nah.
Gotcha.
I mean,
No,
even
the
if there was
Shadowfell's
time-
really close, right?
Yeah, one Shadow Mantle is very close to the normal flow of time. and 2, or the Shadowfell is close. Shadowmantle's Ziggurat specifically is even closer, and also the ship protects you from most of the effects that would do that. So
Oh, right. It's just a
So
bit
I'll
of
I'll
off.
I'll I'll plant the seed of filibuster getting another cooked up conspiracy theory, but what if Shadow Mantle is building the Tower of Babel to reach the prime material plane from the
Oh,
Shadowfell?
100%.
And turn it into his phylactery. I could see it.
That one
Yeah.
was free. That was on the
Maybe-
house, Philly.
it'd be crazy if he was doing something to like draw energy from other planes and linking planes together like that. That'd be big news. Anyways, so
That's what Mother said. She said all the planes were his something something.
No, to
The
kill
mother.
him, you would have to destroy all the mirrors.
Well, that means that his phylactery like touches
Okay,
all.
did she say mirrors? Or,
Yeah,
She
or
said mirrors.
mirrors.
yeah,
Mirror.
as in planes. Okay,
mirrors.
that was
Yeah,
my confusion. We have some words going on.
we do.
They are very close. So yeah, you pop into White Sands, which if I was less tired, I could just pull out of this gigantic Rolodex of maps, but holy crap.
Come on, Hercator. Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put you on the star map and then we'll work from there.
That works. We're just here to mess around, you know?
Yeah. We don't even really need a map.
So you appear above the skies of the White Sands. You see the desert world spread out below you.
Nice.
You are on the peripheries of reality. And now is the plan to retreat to your dements and cast some rituals?
Yeah, let's try it.
I guess
Yeah.
so. We don't want to go say hi? I guess not.
It depends. Is there anything you guys want to talk to the Sphinx about?
I mean, we could tell her that the domain that was returned was Hope, but
We could tell her
Oh,
that.
wait, wasn't there a benefit to doing that?
It was her whole mystery. We could just do a sending to her, right?
I doubt it.
Just text her from the driveway.
I doubt that ascending would work based on what the fuck was going on.
Being in a little whirlpool.
Just like the most defensible place on Earth. Well, between Earth.
Yeah, I think let's get out and go talk to her instead of doing a pocket dimension thing.
We can't divine within their
Within
realm
hers.
either.
Oh.
If I had
Alright.
to guess.
All right, let's do your dimension then.
I
Well, I
would
mean,
say, the divination master remembering the Sphinx's area, you do not think any divination would work on that location. You would be very, very surprised if the Sphinx didn't have a way to divine things from inside of her.
Oh,
area.
okay. That makes more sense. Okay, why don't we go in?
Okay.
Dude, I really wonder what Gary thought we were gonna do today, because
Well, the shadow mantle thing.
I mean, the talking with Mother, the talking about the visions and going to talk to Shadow Mantle, I kind of thought that was all there. That all made sense. And then I'm just sighing to myself, like, why did I bring up a place that I don't actually have, the stuff for right here? Why didn't I just open up the stuff that the different maps and start suggesting places that I can easily.
said anything.
I mean,
map
why
on the
did you have
table for
to? Why'd you have to remind us that we were dumb for blowing up that ship that had the answer that we needed? You could have just let us retcon it.
that was a real stab in the back.
Just kidding.
Wait, I'm the one who brought that up.
Yeah, he didn't even say like, "Oh, are you sure you want to blow up this ship?" Like,
Hold on,
what
I
are
gotta
we
go take a
supposed-
walk.
Hang
Yeah.
on, you guys spent a lot of energy finding and blowing up that ship. That was not a spur of the moment, let's launch this thing into space. That was a we have a plan. Fuck that ship in particular.
Yeah, but there was no like, hey, that's a bad idea.
Gary, quit railroading us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how dare you?
That's all I do.
There she is.
So it would take a little bit of time going through the sort of exterior wards and basically, to effect knock on the door enough to get her to pay attention. But once she is able to pay attention, the kind of giant salt whirlpool that she was at the bottom of isn't there anymore. Instead, there's a calm pool of water, and at the edge of the pool of water is one of the like stone and sand golems. These guys that she has in her area. So like the defenses that you saw last time was sort of this is what her place looks like when it's being actively protected. And the thing that she was actively protecting against is no longer here. So it is much less overtly magical. It just looks like a pool of water under the desert. So it'll take a little bit of time, but you'd be able to let back in, and then the Sphinx would be happy to speak to you again. Now, this is a thing where, like me as a person, I'm feeling a little weird right now. Like, I think I need to go like eat something because my stomach is a little messed up, and my brain is just like jello. So unless anyone's like super opposed to it, I would kind of like to have this be where we start up next time, because I don't know if I've got the mental gears for switching to talking to the Sphinx.
Sure.
That's totally fine. I'm sorry that we've done this to you.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. I feel dumb for being like, well, that's where I would go. Because I normally don't do that in session, and also I picked one that I can't actually mentally change gears to get into. So, but I think it'd be fun to have this be the place that we pick up for Griffle for potentially next week. I do want to send her a message whenever you can get a hold of her and be like, hey, would that still work for you? Because I'd prefer if I didn't have to pick between, Michael's not here for next session or Griffle's not here for next session. If I had the option to just say everybody's here for next session, I'd pick that one first.
Totally.
Cool. Well, let's stop here, and we'll go from there. We'll see what I want to make it a habit, and I hope Fox would be okay with it. Of whoever isn't here for a session and they listen to things, I want them to do the equivalent of live tweeting in the chat when they go through session, because I think Griffle's going to have opinions about this session.
Was mine helpful? I feel like I didn't write that many messages.
I enjoyed it at the
Actually,
very least.
It was cool.
Stuck out to me.
Going through it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you did write quite a few messages, and then you had the whole,
Oh, my long cook.
your long cooking conspiracy thing. So I mean, like, yeah, it was fun.
Okay, but actually, certainly something I said in that long list of things is partially correct.
Certainly.
Certainly.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see if I can go hunt down something more than a cracker. And thank you guys for coming and playing, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks. It was a
Sounds
lot
good.
of fun.
Thanks.
That's good.
Very fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.